Hanamaki stomps out of class to his friends, annoyed at the teacher and his class for whatever reason. Today just wasn't his day. He spoke while reaching them, totally pissed. I swear I have only 4 moods. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck me, and fuck you. I empathize with them, but I have 4 more moods to add. Fuck yeah, fuck no, fuck my life and fuck everything. And don't forget the inevitable, fuck it. And for those who have just given up, fuck. This is beautiful. You guys are beautiful. Thank you. Hanamaki smiled. His friends just knew immediately how to cheer him up. They didn't need to know what was going on and why the pink-haired man was in such a bad mood. If he wanted to talk about it, he would have brought it up, and if he didn't, he wouldn't. The 4 friends went to the locker room to change for practice. Of course, the 3rd graders were once again the last ones. 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 crossed his arms behind his head as he walked and peeked over at Maki. Although, let's talk about the fuck me again. Maki? Who? MatsuHana. Maki spoke in such a serious voice that it made 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔's chin drop and Iwazumi's eyes widen. The 2 of them suddenly stopped in shock, while Hanamaki and MatsuHana continued walking, as if nothing had happened. Iwa-chan. 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 threw himself theatrically at Iwazumi and shook him, completely in disbelief at what he had just heard. Is it finally happening? MatsuHana and Hanamaki glanced at each other out of the corner of their eyes and walked on undisturbed, one wearing a more mischievous grin on his face than the other. Is MatsuHana finally a thing? They both stopped and winced. MatsuHana raised an eyebrow and turned around, looking at 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 judgmentally, while Maki tilted his head back and just gave him an annoyed look. 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 blinked in surprise. Iwazumi sighed, shook his head, and grinned. He brushed 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 off and leaned towards him, whispering, "Not yet, Kora. Oh, come on. Hush. We are pretty late." 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 walked to the pair and shooed them into the locker room so they could finally get ready for practice. They went inside, changed their clothes, and then walked into the gym together. Once there, everything went as usual. 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 finished everyone off, was teased by Iwazumi, Hanamaki, and MatsuHana, and the others had to somehow deal with the chaos of the 3rd graders. Matsun. What? Your eyes are flitting in Maki's direction especially often today. Aha. The tall man wasn't particularly impressed by 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 and answered him boredly as they stood together on the court. When are you going to tell Maki? Tell me what? 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 and MatsuHana winced. Hanamaki eyed the 2 closely. As suspicious as they looked, they must be up to something. Oh well, Matsumam. How soft your hands are, huh? Hanamaki looked at his buddy dumbfounded as MatsuHana took his left hand and placed it in his own palms to clasp it. What's your secret? They're damn soft. Hanamaki stared into MatsuHana's eyes for a moment, his heart picking up some speed. His cheeks caught a soft pink and an unexpected heat spread through his body. He swallowed, his throat feeling totally parched. Sea cocoa butter. Nice. They stayed like that for a while longer, staring deeply into each other's eyes. Matsun didn't make a face, trying to suppress his grin, because Hanamaki looked so damn cute standing there all flushed in front of him. Geez, and you want to make me believe that MatsuHana is not a thing? 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 braced his hand on his hip and ran the other through his hair as he whispered softly to himself. He didn't stare any further at the 2 obvious lovers, but scurried Hanamaki to his position on the court. Enough bells and whistles about soft hands. Let's get this game started. Hanamaki tilted his head to Matsun once more, while 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔 pushed him to his position. MatsuHana smirked at him, which made the pink one blush even more and somehow completely stirred the emotions inside him. Damn. What the hell was going on with Maki? MatsuHana was just fooling around with him, like he always did, right? No homo and all that shit, as if he would ever really have a crush on him. This is MatsuHana we're talking about. To say it again, today was just not Hanamaki's day. They were about to start a practice match when Hanamaki was totally lost in his thoughts on the court. 𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔, Iwazumi and MatsuHana were in front of the net as Hanamaki stood in the back row. He couldn't help but let his eyes drift to MatsuHana again and again. The way he stood there watching his opponent, how damn good he just looked, rubbing the sweat off his face with his shirt, revealing his trained torso. Wait, Matsun is just a friend. Just a friend, right? Maki. Hanamaki's eyes widened as he saw the ball coming into his direction. Shit, 𝒕𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒆� were almost as good as 𝒕𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒔. Snapped out of his thoughts, Hanamaki tried to take the ball at the last second and rushed forward. In the process, however, he had somehow managed to twist his ankle, which now made the pink-haired man hiss in pain. Ugh fuck. And here we go again with our favorite word. Maki gave up. Are you okay? His teammates rushed to him, worried that something worse had happened. He wasn't in that much pain, but everything was just going wrong today, and it frustrated him so much that he was almost on the verge of tears. Hanamaki hissed in pain once again as MatsuHana helped him up, and he stepped on his foot. Maki, did you have your head in the clouds? Where were you staring at? Iwazuma's biceps distracted me too much. No, you better not do this, Maki. Hanamaki grinned mischievously, because if one thing helped him to get through his bad mood or pain, it was definitely teasing Oikorotoru. Matsun, take Maki outside to get some fresh air, and take the ice pack from the bench to cool his foot. Yeah, take him away from my Wichan. Oikoro muttered in a huff and immediately flinched when he got a smirk from Maki. Alright, come on, lean on me. Don't come back too soon. MatsuHana and Hanamaki turned around shortly, only to see Oikoro wink at them. Hanamaki blushed and he could have sworn he felt MatsuHana flinch briefly. MatsuHana rolled his eyes, then turned back around and helped Maki to walk outside. On the way, he grabbed the ice pack that was on the bench and a bandage. He exchanged a few short words with Maki. Did he just wink at us? No. I could have sworn that he had something in his eyes. Okay, stupidity. What? Nothing. Let's take care of you. Mats and I heard that, and I'll make you pay up for that. MatsuHana released a short breath and smirked, which made Hanamaki smile as well. The two walked out to a bench, where MatsuHana carefully set Hanamaki down. I hate being alive. I just wanna die in a national park under mysterious circumstances. Like being poisoned, shot in the head, shot 3 more times, bludgeoned and then thrown into a river only for the cause of death to be drowning. Might be an option. I see. MatsuHana squatted down to lift Hanamaki's foot a bit and cool his ankle. Maki pressed his lips together and frowned, trying to breathe away the pain. He held onto the bench tightly and tensed a little. Matsun looked up at him, feeling his heart flutter as he saw how flushed Maki was. Hanamaki had turned his head to the side to avoid looking at MatsuHana. Shit, he really didn't know why Matsun was particularly handsome today. Maki? Huh. He turned his head back to the taller one, feeling caught. You okay? You've been quite distracted for like the whole practice. I wasn't. Well, at least for the last few minutes. What's on your mind? Well, you know, when you shake laminated paper, and it does the thing. Exactly. Hanamaki and MatsuHana stared into each other's eyes for a moment. Both had their lips pressed together, and both were trying not to burst out laughing. Yes, Hanamaki had always been a master at deflecting, but today MatsuHana was finally going to speak up. He swore he would. For the sake of the pink-haired idiot. You know what's really bothering me? Hanamaki gulped. He looked down at MatsuHana and met a serious, deep gaze. The way Matsun looked at him made Maki shiver. So seductive, almost greedy. Hanamaki was totally captivated by MatsuHana's presence. Everything about him broke Maki to silence, because damn he was so incredibly attractive. Maki's heart quivered. The butterflies in his stomach went completely crazy. He tried to bring something over his lips in order not to look like a complete idiot. What? How can I communicate to wild bunnies that I'm their ally? Hanamaki stared at MatsuHana for a moment and blinked several times before completely bursting into laughter, which caused the corners of Matsun's mouth to rise as well. They both really did have the same silly sense of humor. MatsuHana bit his lip and lowered his gaze to Hanamaki's ankle, which he now began to bandage. He tried to be more serious again. After all, he had something to tell him. I don't think there are wild bunnies here, Matsun. Oh, there is sitting one right in front of me. Hanamaki's eyes widened. He wiped the tears from his eyes and caught MatsuHana's stern gaze. Something was wrong. Like, seriously wrong. Huh. Maki, listen yeah well, thank you Matsun haha. I think we should head back. Hanamaki's heart dropped. Whatever Matsun was up to, Maki didn't have a good feeling about it. He tried to get up, but Matsuen grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him back down. He supported himself on the back of the bench and now leaned over Maki. Hanamaki's heart beat faster and faster, the red on his cheeks deepened, and his breathing became even more uncontrolled. Shit, Matsuen was a little too close. Matsukoa's icy gaze literally pierced Hanamaki. Whatever he was going to say now, he was determined to do it. Matsukoa spoke quietly, sending Maki chills down his spine as his deep voice sounded. I'm your ally, Maki. Matsuen. Will you listen to me for a second? Hanamaki gulped, trying to get rid of the lump in his throat, and staring deeply into Matsukoa's eyes. Go ahead. Hanamaki's face was drenched in a deep red. My bro, I'm balls deep in love with you. Hanamaki looked at Matsukoa in shock as he just grinned mischievously at him. He had expected everything, that they would exclude him from the team for his bad performance today, that Matsukoa would scold him for his bad mood, that Matsuen would completely reject him, but this? Never, really never had he expected this. So it was no wonder why Maki looked at the tall man perplexed for a few seconds at first and blinked far too often, as he first had to realize what Matsuen had just confessed to him. And when he realized it, it literally hit him like a slap in the face. Wait, you like me? For my personality? I know, I was surprised too. Wow. Hanamaki was totally shocked, happy, but shocked. And what do you say? I am. Before Maki even had a chance to say anything, Matsukoa went all out and closed the gap between himself and the pink-haired boy. He let their lips connect, being all tender and gentle. If Hanamaki was ever insecure about Matsukoa's feelings for him, he had convinced him otherwise by now at the latest. He couldn't even believe that their feelings were mutual. As Matsukoa was about to pull back, Maki grabbed him by the collar and dragged him down to him for more kisses. He was so hungry for it, so greedy, that he didn't want to stop for now. As if Matsukoa had just given him what he had been craving for so long. Not just as if. It was like that. Heck, Matsuen wasn't just damn fine. He was also a hell of a kisser. Matsukoa was again the one to break the kiss, leaving them both gasping for breath. They looked into each other's eyes lovingly, eager for more. Was that answer enough? I'm not sure if I got that right. Matsukoa leaned back down to Hanamaki and let their lips collide again, greedy to taste more of him. Both were a blushing mess by now, never getting enough of the other. Who stop? Of course, it was their captain who had to interrupt them. Matsuen broke away from the kiss and let his gaze fly out of his corners of his eyes in Oikoa's direction, still keeping his face towards Hanamaki as he still had a tight grip on his collar. Maki whined. So, is MatsuHana a thing now? Matsukoa looked back into Maki's eyes and grinned wider and wider the longer he glared at his beloved one. Yeah, I guess. MatsuHana is a thing. 𝒑𝒉𝒆𝒓 finally. Oh my god. This means double dates. Hanamaki and Matsukoa laughed at each other, and Iwaizumi and Oikoa couldn't stop beaming either, because they were so happy for them. Matsuen helped Maki up from the bench and supported him. He grinned as he stopped briefly, before they walked back to the gym, feeling that Maki never stopped staring at him. What? Do I look hot? I mean, you always look hot. No homo though. Psych. And then he just slapped Matsukoa's ass. Yes, they were definitely perfect for each other.